Sizakela didn't have a will.
Yeah.
She's the one who hustled the house,
Yes.
got money to buy the house. The house was in her name.
Yes.
Then, Sizakela got married to Stembiso. While in marriage,
Yeah.
they don't have a will
Yes.
until
In the-
Sizakela died.
Yes.
When Sizakela died, she left the house to Stembiso.
Yes.
Stembiso then decides, I'm too young. Then Stembiso, he goes and he marry Palisa.
Opalisa. Yeah.
Still, while Stembiso was married to Palisa, there is no will.
Will in place.
Then Stembiso died, leaving the house to Palisa.
Palisa,
now.
which you want to get in. But on this story, they were married in community of property. That is COP.
Okay.
Ultimately, it's the lack of
Because
knowledge.
their stepmother also decided to marry on the house that she doesn't know where it's coming from.
Wait. The first lady who worked hard for this house
Yes.
married this guy.
Yes.
She then died.
Yes.
This guy he then married this lady. He then died.
Yeah.
This lady then chose to marry another person.
Yeah. And remember when then their father passed on without a will. So now these kids, they have to live with a stepmother and a stepfather. They are not related. It will change.
But wait. So up to that first marriage, second marriage, third marriage,
Yeah.
the house is being moved legally
Yes.
from the first person to the second person, from the second person to the third person. And there is a chance that from the third person to the fourth person, the house is moving legally
Yes.
because of the nature of marital
Marriage.
contract.
Yes.
You're dead. You can't own anything. You can't even have debt. Your debt needs to be paid. Just basically being removed from the books of the living to the books of the dead.
I like
you
that
can't,
word.
Can't own anything.
Can you
You
say that
get
again?
a stepchild having a letter of authority or a letter of executor. But the biological children, they don't have that.
Then the one word that we have in our tongue, tip of our tongues, every time we have to pay, is when we don't understand anything, is that it's a scam.
This guy trusted his father and registered everything under his father, leaving the children aside. So now the guy is dead. The father is claiming that everything
In
is
such a day. Because what happens if you die during labor and the child survives and this child is not in the womb?
What is the difference between guardian fund and trust as well? Because if you don't have a will, your money will go to the government guardian funds. So anyone as a guardian can inherit, can squander the inheritance.
In today's episode, we are talking about one of the most important subject. But before I can tell you why this subject is very important, I think there's a story that paints the picture very well. And the story is somebody got married to someone, that someone got married to another person, and that person, the third person, got to inherit the house. Somebody will tell us what happened. Bethel, how are you?
I'm good yourself, sir. How are you?
I am good.
I'm good.
What happened? Who died? How did they die? How are you?
I'm good, thanks, and yourself?
I'm fine. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
I'm interested in the story of someone dying, as well as the importance of will and winding off the estate.
Yeah.
I'll start with you, Bethel. Let's go straight into the story. You've got all the time in the world to narrate the story,
Yeah.
what happened, how it happened, someone saw it.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, a will is an important document. So a lot of people, they are ignoring to draft the will. So I just want us, before I can narrate the story, to go through maybe the consequences of not having a will. If you don't have a will, what could happen?
Okay. But I think the story paints a very good narrative. I would love the story first, then the narration, because it has a way of blending this thing very nicely. But I will ask you to start with the story.
With the story. Okay. So there was a lady that got a house in Soweto. I'm talking about something that happened here in Gauteng around. The lady got a house. He was not married by that time.
Okay.
So he get someone, a guy. Then because of love, they end up getting married and have 4 children. Then they didn't draft the will. The lady didn't draft the will. Remember, the husband got the wife with a house. So because now they are married, they are sharing the house 50-50 because it's in community of property according to the law, South African law.
Yeah.
So when they get married, then they were having 4 children. Unfortunately, the mother passed on. Then if the mother passed on without a will, then the father of the kids decided, okay, I'm still young, man. I still need another partner that I can live with. Then he carry on, get another partner. Then he live with the partner. Sadly, when we interview the kids, what they are saying, the father used to say to them, if they don't want the wife, they can move out from the house. The kids, they don't have powers now because there is no will in place and the father is a surviving spouse, you see. So he decided to marry another wife, bring another wife in the house of the mother's house that the husband was sharing 50-50 now because there is no will in place. The husband remained with 100%. Then, unfortunately, even the father didn't draft the will as well. The father also passed on, but he was married to someone else. So you see the house now is coming from the mother of the kids now to the father. Then the father also passed on. Now it's another mother that got the house without knowing where's the house coming from.
Okay, let's rewind. If you're listening to this story, basically, there is person A.
Yes.
Person A, let's name her as Sizagele,
Yeah.
who got married to Stembiso.
Yes.
Sizagele didn't have a will.
Yeah.
And when she got married to, in fact, Sizagele didn't have a will.
Yeah.
She's the one who hustled the house,
Yes.
got money to buy the house. The house was in her name.
Yes.
Then, Sizagele got married to Stembiso. While in marriage,
Yeah.
they don't have a will
Yes.
until
In their
Sizagele died.
Yes.
When Sizagele died, she left the house to Stembiso.
Yes.
Stembiso then decides, I'm too young. Then Stembiso, he goes and he marry Upalisa.
Upalisa. Yeah.
Still, while Stembiso was married to Palisa, there is no will.
Will in place.
Then Stembiso die, leaving the house to Palisa
Palisa.
now.
Yeah.
Then, before you explain the importance of the will here, what type of marital contract they must have married in that allows this carrying over of this house or smooth handover of this house?
Okay. The marriage is the decision of the two couples, right?
Yes.
Before, what I can say, before you take out lobola, you need to sit down with your partner and decide what type of marriage you want to get in.
Okay.
It's in community, out of community. You need to have a contract, antenuptial contract. So you guys sit down and discuss which marriage you want to get in. But on this story, they were married in community of property, that is COP.
Okay. So then, let me bring you in. If you were this hardworking woman in this case, how do you feel? Or you are looking at this as a hardworking woman who leaves inheritance for your children. What's your take? How does it feel reading this story as a woman?
Well, as a woman, it hurts because, we work hard. Everybody works hard for their children if they have kids or even for their families. So ultimately it's the lack of knowledge. We think that I think everyone now understands the contract of marriage. So they know you either get married in community of property or outside of community of property. So now problem comes in. Sorry, the problem comes in when do I sign the prenup? We are under the impression that we pay lobola, and then before we do the white wedding, we then sign the prenup. Whereas you actually sign the prenup before the lobola, because customary marriages, the lobola, is recognized by law in South Africa. So it is considered a marriage. They are, provided it follows the 3 steps. So they usually say they have to be 18, they have to consent, and then there has to be a celebration.
Okay.
So when all of that is done, you're married. And if you didn't sign a prenup, you're married in community of property. So whatever it is that I have worked hard for, or whatever he has worked hard for before we got into the marriage, it means that we are automatically sharing that.
Okay. You know, one of the things that, something that comes to mind right now, we're not going to talk about it today because today we are focusing on another topic, but this is something that I think one needs to bring a guest wherein we sit down and we talk about this type of, or different types of marriage contract.
Sure.
Why I'm saying that is because I've heard from women themselves, they said, I was so against the idea of him saying, no, we must marry outside of communal property. So women, when they go into this, for them it's about security.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, talk to me about, in this story, ne?
Yes.
What's your take about the importance of a will in this case, the Soweto story?
Okay. So the importance of a will, it's the kids, they end up not having a house.
Okay.
They end up kicked out from the house because their stepmother also decided to marry on the house that she doesn't know where it's coming from.
Wait. The first lady who worked hard for this house
Yes.
married this guy.
Yes.
She then died.
Yes.
This guy he then married this lady. He then died.
Yeah.
This lady then chose to marry another person.
Yeah. And remember when she get married, she's gonna change the surname to the person that he marries. So now it's a chain. Even the community, they can know that, oh, these children, they were born in that house. But legally so, now, this is a stepmother. And the stepmother decide to get married because now she inherit the house from their father. Then their father passed on without a will. So now, these kids, they have to live with a stepmother and a stepfather. They are not related to these two. Obviously, they will go out because the treatment now, it will change.
But wait. So up to that first marriage, second marriage, third marriage,
Yeah.
the house is being moved legally
Yes.
from the first person to the second person, from the second person to the third person. And there is a chance that from the third person to the fourth person, the house is moving legally
Yes.
because of the nature of marital
Marriage.
contract.
Yes.
And it's moving legally away from the rightful heirs, because the kids were supposed to inherit that house.
Okay, so this situation is created by the fact that I chose not to draft a will.
A will. Yeah.
How will then, in this case, paint a scenario here? We are married. So we are married in communal property. How do I make sure that in this scenario, the house is protected whilst we are married in communal property?
You draft a will. So what happens is, when you are married in community of property, as a person, you first have your 100%. So now you are married in community of property, now you are sharing your 100% with the next person. So now you are distributing, so the 50% comes to me automatically because we are married. Now you are distributing the 100% of the remaining 50%. your 100%. So now you leave your 50%, maybe we have one child. So you ensure that that child has that 50% of the house. So what that means is I am co-owning the house with the child. So I can't sell the house without the child's approval and vice versa. So at least you know that this child will forever have this house. And it's also important that I also draft a will, because then it means I'm also leaving my 50% to my child. So it ensures that this child, whether we die or we go get married or that situation in Soweto, but that child will forever have 50% of the house. So it doesn't matter whether you die, I go get married again in community of property, the 50% remains to the child. So at some point we might need to buy the child out with my new husband, or if the child
But
dies.
the bottom line is that if I decide that we have to get married in commercial property, a will must be in place to protect my 50%,
Uh-huh.
and your will as well must be in place
To
to
protect
protect
my
your 50%.
Mm.
Tell me something. What's the process of winding an estate? I am now dead, and my 50% remains. In fact, let's start here. I'm told if I die and I own this business and other things, properties and all the stuff, what's the first thing that government does? Because I'm told like it goes through a process where everything, I'm told that everything must freeze until the state is satisfied about the nitty-gritties, and I'm interested in those nitty-gritties. Is it the winding of the estate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, please explain that moment when this person A die. What happens?
Okay. If someone pass on, die today, when they take the deceased to the mortuary, register the deceased at Home Affairs, everything stops.
Wait, you are saying the moment Home Affairs dictates that are dictated through their system, however way,
Yes.
but the moment the Home Affairs system knows that so and so has died, every asset
Stops.
continue.
So bank card, that's why you can, other people, they say it, because I've heard other people, they said, if I die, just go to the bank and check how much I have in the bank.
They actually
But-
say, especially women, they say,
Yeah.
don't cry a lot. Ningakali. Ni kale and then get up, go withdraw my money because they're going to freeze it. And then that's where the conversation ends. In the home. So now nobody says, Mama, who's going to freeze it? How long are they going to freeze it? Why is it getting frozen? Nobody knows. So we just withdraw the money and we carry on.
Wait a minute. So, you know, speaking about withdrawing money,
Yeah.
before I will allow you to speak. You know, one will say there's a limit to which one can withdraw. So depending on how much one has in the bank, but there's a limit in which one can withdraw. So even the withdrawal concept, somehow I know as a matter of fact that somehow one way or the other, you can withdraw the amount of money you want depending on how wealth or rich that person is.
Yeah. But that is a criminal case as well, because there's a time of death first.
So
Immediately, time of death, the money was withdrawn after 3 hours after. Then it's a criminal offense.
so you woke
You
up.
can be arrested for that, because immediately the person passes on. The thing is, you can make a loan. Then you know the person is no more. Who's going to pay back the money? So that's why the government, the system is linked. They freeze everything. So, but people, they are saying you must withdraw the money, but you will be in trouble. So if you withdraw the money, that is
Illegal.
illegal. You can be arrested for that. If they can investigate and find out the time of death, it's 10 o'clock. Then the money was withdrawn 12 o'clock. Why 12 o'clock? Because there should be a time of death. Even the police, even if you die inside the house, the police will come. What time did you check that has passed on this person? And the statement, it will show. Banks, the ATM is having cameras and all of those things. So you can be arrested for that. So that's why a will is very important, because those are the beneficiaries. Those are the rightful beneficiaries that can inherit whatever that you have.
Okay, now I'll tell you a story. Ne? My brother died, and he was with a woman at the time. They are not married. So he died. So there's a competition. He had told his mother while still alive that I don't want you in my house. And it was for a good reason why. You know, there was squabbles and he discovered some secrets. Then it tells the mother, I don't want you in my house ever again. So before his death, the mother will not visit that house.
Okay.
Going somewhere. Then he died. The moment the mother, the moment this mom get a call, a confirmation that he has died, she rushed into that house to secure everything. The girlfriend who was in that house, what she did was, okay, what is expensive in this house? She grabbed all the things she considered expensive and then ran away. So technically you are saying that was a criminal case already.
Yes.
Okay. Someone is getting educated by that. Now let's go through this thing called legal cost. If I die as a black person, we've got the tendency of investing much on our funeral. We want the most glorified funerals ever. Don't tell me why, because even if you are trying to justify why, it will still not
It
make
doesn't
sense
make
to
sense.
me. But what are the legal costs that goes into a dead person now that I'm dead? I can no longer carry the cost. What are those costs? Can you kind of break it down for me?
Okay. When you pass on, we call it a cost of dying. That is cost of dying. Because if you pass on, remember when you pass on, there's legal costs that are getting involved. So your estate need to be advertised. You need to be advertised on the government gazette that you are normal. You need to get a letter of authority or a letter of executor. So a letter of authority, it's an estate that is less than 250,000. A letter of executor, anything that is above that, it's a letter of executor. So it's a high court now. So the trust need to be created, a deceased trust. So everything that needs to be collected needs to go to the deceased trust because we are deceased now. So that is the cost of dying. And tax as well. Government is going to tax you. They call it inheritance tax. Whatever that you're going to inherit, there's tax gain. There's 3.5% on the value of the estate that the executor will want, depending on how much you're worth. For instance, if you're worth 5 million, the executor will want 3.5 plus VAT. That makes 4.2% on your estate. Then remember, and the government is entitled to 20% in your estate. So that's why you need a cover to cover all the legal covers. So you can have an investment, whatever that you have, but you need a cover that will cover all the expenses.
So wait. Government is entitled to how many percentage?
20%.
Okay, 20% aside. You are telling me, what is it, the name of the person, executor?
Yeah, executor.
That individual, he or she,
Yeah.
is entitled to 3.5%
Yeah.
excluding VAT.
Excluding VAT.
Then including VAT takes us to 4.2.
0.025.
0.025.
Okay, so then you are saying, if I'm listening to you,
Yeah.
it's 20% plus the 4.2. So it's basically 24.2%.
It can be more than that. Because remember...
Wait.
Yes.
Let's speak about it as a minimum
In a minimum, yeah.
of 24.2% that needs to be deducted from this dead person's estate.
Estate, yeah.
Continue.
Just
Okay.
Just to add, so on an estate, the tax implications apply if with the first 3.5 million, 3.4 million. So the first 3.4, let's just say 3.4 million is exempted from tax. And then anything above that, as inheritance, anything above the 3.5 is then taxed at 20%. So if you're inheriting 3.4, you're safe.
Yes.
There's no tax. But if it's over and above that, then there is tax. And the 4.025% from the executor is it's regulated by the law. It's not something that we are creating here as we're sitting. It's regulated by the law. So the executor will want the 3.5, or it could be less. It can't be more than that, but it can be less, depending on the relationship that you have. I mean, if you're talking to someone and you're negotiating, because if with the example, 5 million, if you're worth 5 million, the executor is getting 200,000 already just to collect and advertise the debt. And they don't create the trust fund if there's minors. They have to consult a board of trustees. So a trust fund needs to be created if there's minors, because under the age of 18 in South Africa, they can't inherit directly. So a trust fund needs to be created. And then there's administration costs. You know, when you talk to a lawyer, for every call, you get charged. Every printing, the communication between the lawyer and the master's office, all of that gets charged. And then if there's property, movable and or immovable, like the house in Soweto, if you have a house, it needs to be transferred to your beneficiaries, because you are dead, you can't own anything. So that's what we call winding up an estate. You just basically being removed from the books of the living to the books of the dead.
I like that word.
Can't own anything.
Can you say it again? You are it's a process where one is being removed
from the
books of the living to the books of the dead.
Mm-hmm. You're dead. You can't own anything. You can't even have debt. Your debt needs to be paid. So this is when you find people, when we start talking, and then let's say now we are, I'm your wife, I'm your widow. I'm your widow. You're the widower.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm sitting in front of a lawyer and I'm very confused. The lawyer is coming and saying, okay, first we're going to need, this is how much you're going to pay me, 200,000. And then we need to transfer the house. We need to create a trust fund for the kids. And then we need to service the debt, because he can't die with the debt. And I'm like, what do you mean? So what happens if there's no money to pay the debt and pay all these things, the legal cost of winding up an estate? Then the lawyer says, we're going to have to liquidate. What do you mean?
Wow. We'll get into the liquidation, because I wanted to have a dedicated time on liquidation.
Okay.
But before we talk about liquidation, so you guys works for a specific company that talks to this topic.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing on a day-to-day basis? What's your job description? And I'm who do you help and who you don't help?
Okay. Basically, what I'm doing, I'm helping everybody. So, especially in this platform, we can say everyone can book us if they've got event. We can educate them about the importance of having a will. Why do you need a will? Why you must have a will? Because a lot of people, they are not educated about wills. They hear will, but they don't understand what is a will. And the name will, it's coming from the Bible. That's why one of my books, it says, thy will be done. So the name is coming from the Bible. So we are living his will. We are living his will. So you need to draft the will so that they can live your will as well, your family. I'm talking about your DNA, whatever is going to inherit, whatever that you put on the will. So that's why we call it a will and testament.
Okay. Do you guys mind maybe giving out your contact details, be it your cell phone number, your WhatsApp, your email? What specific contact details do you mind sharing? Both of you.
We are both on WhatsApp. So the details that we're going to be giving out are our personal numbers. So when you call, I prefer WhatsApp, because I mean, it's everyone has WhatsApp. If you don't, it's okay. You can get a call. You can give a call, but you just be very clear and very specific on the WhatsApp. hi, my name is, and this is the problem, and then we tackle it. We see what can be done because we are testamentary agents. We work for a company that winds up estates. That's all we do. We don't help you with your divorce. We can't help you with an inheritance issue and all of that. You know, there's a qualification for everything. So if you're trying to get a divorce, get a lawyer. We are not those lawyers, you know. So we come in. We are the lawyers that come in when a person has died to say this person has left this. This is what they have documented, and this is how they want it to be done. Because a will is a legally binding document. In as much as it's a very important document, it's a very legally binding document. What that means is that if anyone wants to contest it, they need to go to court. And when people come in and say, my mother would have never done this, this is wrong, my mother would have never excluded me. Guess what? She did. That was her will and last wish. So she did exclude you. She included the neighbor because she decided the neighbor is a better beneficiary. You're not. So you can go to court and fight it, but if they feel,
Okay.
you're not supposed to get, you're not going to get.
Okay. Now I want to get into the contact details.
Okay.
So I'll
Yeah.
start with you. Share yours. Also, we'll display it on your screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your contact details?
Okay.
And
Ma-
before
ma-
we
be-
get
befo-
into the contact
yeah.
details,
I want to.
let's speak about the conditions because she already said, no. If you called me, or preferably WhatsApp me, and go straight to the point. Hi, who, what is not working. Just go straight to the point.
Yes. I don't know if we still have enough time. or-
Yeah, we still have enough time. We're still gonna go back.
Yeah.
We're still we just want to talk about what you guys are doing, your
Okay.
companies, and then we'll go back to the topic.
Okay.
Yes. So, contact details of mine. You can send me WhatsApp. I'm a very busy person because I'm busy with different things as well. So, my contact details, you can send me a WhatsApp or whatever messages or call me. It's not a problem, but I prefer WhatsApp because I'm very busy. I've got like 60 or 70 agents around the country that I'm looking at a daily basis that are out for drafting wills. That's why I'm inviting all the companies, stakeholders, government, politics. If they've got events, they need to invite us because we see politicians most of the time they are dying without a will. No will. You can be on the executive seat, but you don't know anything about estate. So we are specialists on that. So my number is 082 62 72 620. It's 082 62 72 620.
Okay.
Name is Bethwell Ngomane.
All right. We'll also put that on the screen. Your number.
073 350 9467. 073 350 9467.
Name.
Tsulofelo Moletsane.
Okay. So fair. Right. Before we go back to the topic now, which company are you working for? What's the name of the company that you are working for? Because you speak of an institution that deals with this thing called wills. You have so many agents under your name, but one would be like, what's the name of the company then?
Okay. I'm not sure if we can mention the company as such, but we are estate agents.
Okay.
Yeah, they can contact us. More information we can disclose on that.
Okay.
I don't want to put the name of the company in
problem.
public for now.
Now let's go back to this point now. A person is dead. Let's assume they owned business offices somewhere.
Yeah.
Then there's this thing. I heard you talking about liquidation. Whose assets get liquidated? Take me through that. For a situation to occur where assets had to be liquidated, please explain the consequences that leads to the liquidation, and what is this liquidation, and what does it meant to? Who does it meant to benefit?
If I can tell a story. So a young lady calls and says, Tolo, I am in trouble. And I say, okay, let's hear your story. Because when I consult hi, my name is, and then I just say, tell me your story, so that we know exactly what you need. So she says to me, 2 years ago, her mom died. Also, 2 years ago, her marriage was in a rocky place. So she had suggested that they get a divorce with the husband. So while they were still talking about that, the mother dies. So the mother was in the education department. So when mommy dies, mommy doesn't have a will. So mommy had been teaching for a while, and in the process, she then decided to have a business. So she goes into business with her best friend, and she takes a pension fund. She resigns from her job. She takes a bulk of her pension fund. They start the business. The business is running well. They're both happy. And then mommy then says, I want to go back to teaching. It's my first love. Mommy then goes back to teaching. The business partner stays. The business is running all as well. So what they had decided, these two ladies then decide, we're going to take out life covers. So the life covers are going to cover if one dies, they're going to go into the business, pay debt, whatever. If you want to buy out my children, you can do that. So they did that. Now what they did was with the life covers, so the one partner was a beneficiary to the next partner, vice versa. So mommy's life cover paid to the business partner. And then, so now mommy dies. Then the divorce talks get hold. They hold back on the divorce. So now it feels like the marriage is starting to work again. So now she's busy now dealing with mommy's estate. So now she finds out when they are advertising the date through the executor. The executor then says, okay, this is what your mom owes. She's like, what do you mean? Because the business debt is also there. Remember, she's 50-50 in the business. The business debt is also there. She's like, no ways. My mom had a life cover, and I know for a fact that the life cover paid. Now she speaks to the business partner. Business partner is like, I had my own issues. I needed to sort out my things. So now she's got a problem that she needs to service that debt. You don't inherit your mother's debt or your father's debt or your husband's debt, but you do stand to lose everything because of the debt. So now the mother didn't have a will because she was an only child. Parents have this thing of saying, I only have one child, so automatically everything goes to my child. But now what happens is that this child is not inheriting through a will, so there is no inheritance exclusion clause. What that means is that she's inheriting through the law of interstate succession. So the court has given her because she is the only beneficiary. So now what that means is that all these things that she has inherited are not excluded from the marriage. If the marriage ends in divorce, they are not, so they will form part of the divorce settlement.
Can I just, there's a word that I had there, interstates, right?
Yeah,
I'm
law
going
of
to
interstate.
ask you to explain that when you're done.
Okay.
Continue.
No worries. So now, the business partner doesn't have money to service the debt. She's sitting here now. She has inherited the house. So now the lawyer is saying, we're going to have to liquidate the house. We're going to have to sell the house. We need money to pay debt. So now this house, in as much as she's not inheriting the debt, but she stands to lose the house. The one possession that her mom left her, she's got memories in that house. She loves that house, but she stands to lose that house. And now on top of that, the husband has decided, now I want a divorce. So she's going to lose this house to liquidation, either for the servicing of the legal cost of the winding up of the estate, or she's going to lose it through the process of divorce. Because it was either way, she's doomed, because there was no protection. It was not handed out down to her legally with a will. That's all the mom had to do, draft a will, so that she knows. Now she would just be dealing with the debt from the business and all the other legal costs. So now, I mean, it affects her. It has affected her work. When you can't come up with 2 rand, you know you are just affected. You can't sleep. She doesn't know what to do. So she says to me, what do I do for my kids? Because before the marriage, she had a child. I said, you draft a will. That's all you need to do. You draft a will, because the first child also doesn't have a relationship with the dad. So now, when she drafts a will, she's going to be nominating a guardian for the child. So at least this child, and whatever else she's going to be left with after this whole saga, at least will be protected for her children.
There's a law of interstates, right?
Uh-huh.
After you have explained that, I think before we get into the law of interstates, what I'm hearing in everything that you guys are saying, will. I don't think one needs to emphasize from the first story to what we said in between to your story. It all talks to the importance of a will.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the interstates law. What is it? How does it work?
Okay. Interstate succession. So interstate succession, it's someone that doesn't have a will. So if you have a will, which means there's beneficiaries that will inherit your estate. But if you don't have a will, your estate go under probate. So it's Interstate Succession Act. So now, the government will check your family, your wife's family, husband's family. So they call it a family tree. A family tree, it's where you've got your mom, your dad, your brothers, and it's you, your kids, your family, your wife, and all of that. So it's a family tree. Because we haven't choose while you are still alive who must inherit. So the government assume that everyone must inherit to be fair. So they can't choose one partner, and you see. So that's why when you go to the court now, you say, okay, I'm here to report a deceased estate. They say, is that person married? How many children does he have? Bring everyone here so that we can give you a beneficiary form. Everyone must fill, because now it's an Interstate Succession Act. But if there is a will, then they will use the will to distribute the estate, because you've already choose while you're still alive.
Although our wills get contested in court, I remember the one in the royal family. Hey, heavily contested. I think the issue of the former deputy president, Mr. David Mabuza.
Yeah.
Oh, well, one will say it's not like they are contesting the actual will, but there's this thing that I'm trying to bring about, that when a person die, it's like we are waiting for you to die so we can rush as quick as possible
Yes.
to get into your assets,
Yeah.
so we can get a share, right? What's your take? What you wanna add? Interstates, this thing.
Interstate succession.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking about it. It hasn't. Yeah, but continue.
Sorry, just before we get to that. So a friend of mine is dealing with her uncle's estate. So she says when she went to the masters, the questions that they ask me, was the uncle married? I can say no. Did the uncle have kids? I can say no. Did the uncle have any other relatives, brothers, siblings? And I can say no. It was just me and my uncle. So my question is, so I said to her, go back and ask, is this how they verify if there's nobody else? Because how are you taking my word as I'm standing in front of you? I could be just anyone and then deciding, ay, malume bayanga shatanga, ungena mfazi lapayana kungena. So now you see, the first person to get to the office like a master is the first person who's going to win.
I think in that regard, the government is failing us. It's failing South Africa. I must say that. Because they don't investigate. You get a stepchild having a letter of authority or a letter of executor. But the biological children, they don't have anything. Why are they asking us to register at Home Affairs? Yes, I understand now the certificate are preached, But immediately someone, if pass on, they punch the ID, the system should show all the children. Can these people come up? So that we can verify. Even if DNA is needed then, you see? But now, I feel like it's the government, because as Tsulo said, first come, first save. If you go there, then you say, but this person, I'm the only one surviving. All of them, they are dead. Oh, I'm the only child. They take your word.
You know what? I will say, they say, ingalo yomthetho inde. So you can get the money today. We will arrest you tomorrow. However, the benefits are, I would have chow the money. You arrest me. Nobody gets anything. You put me behind bars, but I've eaten the money.
You garnish me, I pay 50 rand every month.
Exactly.
When I'm going to finish it.
Exactly.
And now
that's what I can afford now.
Now.
So you can't tell me to afford more when I can only afford 50 rand.
Yes. Then it's 500,000. I'm done with the money. How long I'm going to pay that money? But I'm glad you touched that thing of Titi Mabuza. Ne? Titi Mabuza, I was watching the story, checked the article and all of those things. And I know Titi Mabuza very well. He was my principal at the school back then, before he went to politics. So I know where he stay. I know, because I'm from Mpumalanga, actually. So one of the school, he was my principal there. So there's one thing that people, they don't understand. People, they keep on getting married or they keep on paying lobola, not knowing that lobola is in community of property. And they separate as little as 100 rand. That money can bring 100 million. As long the uncle sit down and negotiate and have an agreement, it's in community of property. So to divorce, you need to go to court. You can't say, okay, I don't want to keep 5,000 rand, then I can give you 5,000, I can do the transaction. You can do the transaction, yes. The money will go back, but we are still married.
In community of property?
In community of property. Only the court can dissolve that marriage.
And people think you have to register the marriage after the lobola for it to be recognized. For it to be recognized, you don't have, if there's a letter and there's a picture somewhere, we are married in community of property. And if we want to dissolve it, we have to go to court. Whether we registered it or not, you have to dissolve it in the court of law. Otherwise, what that means is that ulobola mina 2021, 2023, you go lobola somebody else, and then you register that marriage, and then you get married, you live happily ever after with that one. I'm sitting there in the corner. When you die, I resurface. You're my husband. Here's the proof. So there are always, everyone is talking about this, that marriage, the second marriage after the first lobola, is null and void. People are not listening.
I know someone. I'm not going to say your name, don't worry. You are safe. I know someone. So I'm talking about people very close. I know both of them. So they went into the courtship stage. Then there was lobola paid. Just before they got married. I don't know what happened. Then they made a U-turn. Till today. I remember I spoke to this lady and said, hey, when I watch a podcast, when you are married in community of property? And she's like, I know. But the same lady wants to continue dating and she wants to get married. I'm like, Now, I was thinking about it. I was like, imagine marrying that woman. Ne? And the husband is like, it's fine, continue, guys, build your life.
You are putting yourself at risk.
And then you buy companies. You are now worth, say for instance, you are married in community of property with her. Now you are now worth 50 million rand. And the husband said, Konjona, you are my wife. Ne?
Let's get divorced.
Let's go get divorced. How will it affect me? I know you guys you don't specialize there, but just in general, how will it affect me? Because that lady, when I said, hey, Go and divorce. From what I've heard, she was like, it doesn't matter.
It happened in KZN. This lady gets separated with the husband. The husband went to Eastern Cape. The lady stayed in KZN. Then the lady, she was a teacher at a certain school. Then she passed on, unfortunately. By the day of the funeral, the husband came with police. Said, this is my wife. I'm going to bury her at my own time, the way I want to bury her. Then the funeral stops. 7 years. After they separated for 7 years, we're talking about 7 years. So what you are buying now or accumulating, you are accumulating for that person. The spouse that you are living with now, it's not going to get anything. Because the person, that one, it's sharing everything that she has or he has with another person.
I know, before you start typing, oh, that man is cruel. Even women can do it.
Yeah.
It's
happened both.
this thing is a matter of law.
Yeah.
When they say you must support your spouse with how much, you shouldn't have a problem when the man is claiming that. Because women have the same right to go and claim from their spouse, husband, whatever you name it. So I had people commenting on Minnie Dlamini. Why is Watwat Jones claiming on Minnie Dlamini? I'm like, So you are technically saying the only person who's allowed to claim
Is
is
the
a
wife.
female. No, the
Right.
man.
Yeah.
So before you go hard on him,
you
he
can-
was exercising his constitutional right.
Yes.
You can check the show, the story that is playing in Nimba. You see that in Nimba, what is happening there. This guy is claiming his 50% on the lady. The lady is having money. She's claimed. So it's not happening in one side, both sides. As long we are in community, then we are sharing 50-50.
And I'm quite happy that such things are now out there. You know, people are talking about it. People are seeing these things. Because men are very scared of court. Men don't want to go to court. Men would rather go to court they go to court when they are called for maintenance, but they don't go to court to demand maintenance, because you can also do that. If you're the man and you're raising the child and I'm just being a deadbeat mother, because we do have deadbeat mothers, you can go to court and claim. You can go to court and fight for your child. I always say this. Why are you trying to bring in your family to say, no, my aunt will talk to the aunt and the whatnot, and we'll try and find a solution? Just go to court. Because mina, mangafuni ngomntanam, I will fight you through the court. So why are you not fighting through the courts? Men must just go to court. And a lot of men are doing that right now. They are doing that. They are fighting for their kids because they are trying to, and also helping kupele the stigma, so would say the courts will always stand with the mother. It seems like the court stands with the mother because the mother is the only one who's present at court. If you're not there, you're not going to get results. But if you go to court, when they say come to court, you have a fighting chance. It's the same as when you're saying, would say, wills are contested. At least there's something to contest. That's why you need to draft it. Because now, if you go to court, then it drags. Because umalume comes in and says, I'm entitled. I paid the school fees at some point in my life. I'm entitled. Lapo umuntu is talking about 200. I mean, your uncle paid school fees 1972. And then now it's 2020, it's 2025, but they want 500,000. And the court will give. Because they are saying, you helped financially, and this person was your, not ATM, but this person was supporting you. So you are entitled. So now your children are left in limbo because you didn't do the right thing when you had the time. And when they start consulting with the lawyers, like I said, lawyers charge. And then when the money is now we're paying the lawyer, then the one word that we have in our tongue, the tip of our tongues, every time we have to pay, is when we don't understand anything, is that it's a scam. Everything is a scam. When we shy away from wills because we heard someone say, that family had a will and this happened, and then the other thing happened. Getting distracted.
Oh, no, continue.
Sorry. So everyone has a story to tell through somebody else. So a person will say, I'm not drafting a will because when there was a will with my uncle's death, sorry, can I
continue.
carry on? It's quite distracting.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
But so people will shy away from doing things because it didn't work for the other one. But a will works for everyone. It's just that when people go contest the will, then we think, oh, no, I don't want my family to go through this. But they're going through that because somebody is trying to be greedy. But there is a piece of paper that is there, especially for the children.
Just to come in on that, to contest the will, it's not that easy. If you contest the will, you need to be financially stable because they will be a specialist for signature, and that can cost you over 45,000 just to signature verification. Because the specialists that they need to check because you are saying this will is a fake, the signature is not, then you need to pay the legal cost for investigation. As beneficiaries, we are believing this is right. You are saying because you are not on the will, then you are saying no. This one in Mumbai, okay, it's fine, it's in Mumbai, but you need to be financial. You need to have a financial muscle so that you can contest the will. You can't say, I'm contesting the will because, and what. And another thing, people, they need to be educated about this. I just want to bring this story.
Okay, go ahead.
We as families trust too much instead of trusting the law. Do you understand?
Yes.
I trust my sister, I trust my father. There's certain cases that we have, and this guy trusted his father and registered everything under his father, leaving the children aside. So now the guy is dead. The father is claiming that everything is his. I don't know what was the guy was hiding, why he registered everything with the father. But now the father is saying, no, everything is mine because it's under his name. And there is no will. Even if there is a will, we can't claim something that is not registered under your name. How are you going to fight that battle? Until the person agrees, that say, okay, yeah, my son asked me to register the house under my name, the cars and everything. You find someone is using someone's bank, but is drafting a will. We can't go and claim the money on someone's bank. So there is a lady as well, trusted a sister. There is a life cover, but they discuss, okay, when I pass on, because it's a minor child, the money will come to you, you'll take care of my kids. But now, the money, the sister passed on, the sister claimed the money came in the bank. That was 500,000. So the money, they discussed before the sister was alive that you must take my child to school and all of those things. If it happened, I pass on. Then she passed on, the money was claimed, paid to the bank. But if the money come to your bank, whose money is that?
It's my man.
It's your money. Unfortunately, the sister also passed on. Then when the sister passed on, the money was on the bank. The kids were young. So the kids of the beneficiary that inherit that money, they are thinking the money doesn't belong to the sister's child, the first one. So now the siblings, they are fighting because they are cousins. So the uncle knows the story until they put the uncle in the picture. That no, your mother was working as a domestic worker. She didn't have this money. The money is coming from
So and so.
So it's not your money. Yes, it's in your mother's account.
But it's not your
By
money.
that time, the money was frozen because you guys were young, minor child. Then the money now it's here, but doesn't belong to you. It belongs to this one.
So wait. What I'm hearing is that a will cannot reverse the laws of the country. If, for instance, the laws of the country says what is found in this property is mine.
Yes.
Technically, if you find drugs here, who do you arrest? Me.
Me.
Yes.
Yeah, you.
So as well as if you find millions here, are mine.
Yeah.
So if you put anything in this house and think you're going to change it via a will, you are not going to do that because the law says what is found here. I will either benefit from it or get prosecuted from it.
Yes.
So you can't reverse the laws of the country through the will.
Yeah, you can. If anything that is under your name, your beneficiary can inherit. But anything that is not under your name, that's why I'm always even advising people, if you want to buy a house or a car, but you don't qualify, you ask your brother or anyone, can you please apply for me? But the money will, because we're going to do a consent that the money will debit in my account. Now I'm blacklisted or I'm not blacklisted, I don't qualify to buy a house. So I ask you, can you please apply for me? But I'm the one who's going to pay because I'm receiving extra money. That thing needs to be documented. You need to you need to have a contract and an affidavit. When you draft a will, attach everything with your bank statement as a proof that the money is coming. Because if you pass on without any evidence, how are we going to claim the house? Because the house is under this person's name. There's no agreement that maybe you're owing this person something, money that you are paying. Then you converted, okay, can you pay for me a 1 year, my house? Because the house doesn't belong to me. It belongs to you. The car doesn't belong to me. It belongs to you. But I'm the one who's paying it.
So what I've heard so far is both the negative and the positive of a will.
Yeah.
How it benefits you and how sometimes it can affect you. Okay. Now I want to wrap it up. What is it that is in your chest that we probably didn't ask about? Then we'll come to you. What is in your chest?
Well, one of the questions I got some time back was a pregnant lady asking if she should be drafting a will. She's pregnant, yes, she's got one child, so she already has a will. So she's thinking, must she amend her will now before the child is born or after the child is born? But she was leaning towards after the child is born. So I said to her, you draft a will with every life-changing experience. Well, number one, in South Africa, a child as young as 16 can draft a will. But say now you're an adult. So with any and everything that's big that's happening in your life, you draft a will. So now she has a will that covers the child, the first child. So when the second child is not covered, you do include the unborn child. So you do state in the will, 70% to my unborn child. When the child is born now has a name and a date of birth, you amend again to Solofelo Moletsane born on such and such a day. Because what happens if you die during labor and the child survives and this child is not in the will? So what's going to happen to that child? So everything else is going to go to the first child. Now you're leaving this first child to raise, maybe your first child is 20. Now she has to raise this child. Fight with the father of this child because you didn't nominate a guardian. If you don't draft a will, you don't nominate you haven't nominated a guardian. We are under the impression you would say, if I'm raising my child as a single parent, my mother or my sister, whoever is helping me with the child, is the next guardian for the child if I die. But it's not. That's not what the law says. The law recognizes the next parent as the legal guardian should one person die. So now this 20-year-old who's my child now has to fight the baby daddy because the baby daddy wants the money. He's going to come in and say, I want my child. And then whatever money, whatever portion that is allocated to this new child will go to this guy. So now it's very important to draft a will. And our will lets you create a trust fund. We all know, Makala Kulungang trust fund baby. I didn't know anything about a trust fund baby, but I heard it when I started working years ago. Somebody said, this is a trust fund baby. And I was like, what does that mean? Said, this one is sorted for life. They are sorted for life. And I was like, oh, so she's from a rich family. And they're like, no, they're not rich, but they planned. The parents planned for their children, because when you are now, everyone is on the bandwagon near generational wealth, but we don't understand. Generational wealth is not you accumulating all these things and getting rich and or wealthy. If you don't have a will that is protecting all these things, my inheritance exclusion clause, then it means these people are going to get, yes, we are going to die, we're going to inherit all the businesses and all the monies, but when we get married, we share all these things with our spouses. If we also start our own businesses, these things form part of the profit and loss. So should my business go down, they can liquidate whatever it is that I have if inherited. Law of interstate succession doesn't protect you. So whatever you inherit through court, it doesn't protect it. It's not protected. So you don't want that. That's how you build. So when you say you're building generational wealth, then it's you have said in your will, and your will stays forever and ever. Your wish will be there for 3 generations to come. You're saying, I don't want the people house to ever be sold. They can rent it out, they can do it, but it must never be sold. So they can't sell it. So it goes to the next generation. It goes to the next generation. So that's the wealth that you created today goes to the 3rd generation. Not that I have accumulated, I have a lot of things, now my children are sorted. Where's the will?
Okay.
So I will talk about the trust, but I think we need to have another session as well, so that we can, because a will thing, it's 2 deep things. We need to touch a lot of things: trust, inheritance exclusion. While she was talking, what is the difference between guardian fund and trust as well? Because if you don't have a will, your money will go to the government guardian funds. So anyone as a guardian can inherit, can squander the inheritance. So, but if you have a will, then it creates a trust. So you also create a children trust. You choose at what age your children must inherit. So you put if you want them to inherit at the age of 20, 25, you choose. Then at that age, they will go to the trust and claim their money as a lump sum. Do you understand? So people, they are not aware, they are not educated about that. They're thinking a trust is something like, a trust is going to be something that is created for your kids. So it's going to be there until your kids go and claim the money. So there's a lot of things that we need to unpack, but in our maybe next session, because we know our viewers, they will have questions and all of those, we need to come and answer and all of those things.
Okay. Let's talk about the topics that you would like to address in the future. That you say, some of them, just to give them an idea of things that you'll probably want to address in the future, so that when they ask questions, they understand that, okay, this is on the line, this will be addressed. Probably will then have to talk about that. They will then have to focus on that which you will probably not address.
Okay. When we come back, we're going to talk about the marriage regime. First, we're going to start about life partner. What is a life partner? We're going to talk about the customary marriage. We're going to talk about the civil, the COP in community of property. Then we're going to talk about the dependents. Because dependent, we've got different dependent. We've got financial dependent. We've got legal dependent. What is a legal dependent? What is financial dependent? Yeah, we're going to touch on that.
Okay. So, yeah. Now I'm thinking, technically, this thing here it doesn't matter whether you're rich or not. That's what I'm getting. What matters is, do you have something that you would like someone to get? If you own a spaza shop that you wouldn't like Bongan to inherit, but you like Solo to inherit, there must be a will for that. Because should you die,
And
I
you
will be
will
like,
die.
you know what, when I used to buy tomatoes for a spaza shop, I must inherit something from a spaza shop, even if you didn't want me to inherit. So we've gone through the process or the negative as well as the positive in a will. Your last word, that's your camera.
Oh, can I just also add what on the next session? My favorite,
Let's start with the
My
the
last
next
word.
session, and then we'll end with your last question. Oh, your last comment. What is it that you on the next session you will want to discuss?
my favorite, which is what I feel that we miss, the legal costs of winding up an estate. So maybe we can go through that. We can actually see if an estate is worth 1.5 million, how much is it the total cost of death, how much is it going to be, when we're talking about the legal cost of winding up an estate. So we'll get to touch on the 4.025, how much the percentages of starting a trust fund and running it, and then the conveyancing fees. And then, so I love that. I love that part.
There's something about women and money. We're speaking about everything. The only thing that she's concerned about is the money.
Yeah,
money.
but it's
money.
It's the saving part of the money. This is how you save. This is now you see which this could be my cost of death. So how much do I need maybe, or what do I need? Which plan maybe will work for me
Nah,
to
I'm
save
not
my
saying
family?
anything, and if
But-
it doesn't come, don't think that I'm the one who said she shouldn't. We will allow the conversation about money. It will happen. Technically, that's what she wants. So, yeah, your last words. That's your camera.
Okay. My last word, I said to people, will it's important. When you draft the will, doesn't mean you don't trust your partner or your spouse, but to be on the safety side, that is assurance. So you need to have one, so that when you pass on, your legacy continue, instead of when you pass on, everything just vanish. You never existed in this world. So you are leaving your legacy from generation to generation.
Thank you. Solo,
Yes,
your last words. That's your camera.
It's very important to draft a will, especially especially when you are going through a lot. Everyone is supposed to draft a will, but when you are going through a lot, draft a will so that when you die, still going through a lot, at least the lot is taken care of, as opposed to you passing on the lot to your beneficiaries. So you just draft a will when you're in trouble, when you're outside of trouble, when you're just happy, when you're not happy. Draft a will and always amend your will.
Okay. Two things. One, should you want to be a guest, I'm going to drop an email. Yeah, we have certain types of guests that would like. I'm interested to talk to a person who is into construction. I'm interested to speak to a person who is a legal mind, into legal profession. I'm interested to speak to a person who owns dealerships. I'm interested to speak to a person who owns your normal petrol stations and more, obviously. So I'll leave an email for that, and other people, obviously. But what I can promise you as well is that we might have the second episode somewhere in November or December. If it doesn't happen between these 2 months, chances I'll have it on January. But we'll bring the second one because I don't want you guys to come gun blazing and say, I'm the reason why the knowledge is I'm the reason between you and the knowledge. So I take the responsibility, and I'm affirming you're gonna have the second episode. I will try between November and early December or January, you'll have the next episode. But until that time, please take care.